Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on, I was going to say Tuesday, but it's actually Wednesday the 29th. That's what happens when we have a bank holiday. It completely throws me. So Wednesday the 29th of August. So as the month draws to a close, are we going to see a bit of a retracement on this euro? We'll see. For now, it's put in a bit of a reversal type candle there, shooting star-ish. We have got, as I said yesterday on the weekly outlook, we have got the weekly pivot below. There may be plenty of points of support before then, of course, but they do have a good probability of being hit at some point during the week. Now, it could take quite a bit of time if it was to get down there, but at the moment, looking at what we're seeing, we're still an upward trend here, higher lows, higher highs. It's yet to put anything in that would suggest we're doing anything else but going upwards. Momentum certainly looks pretty reasonable there until you get down to this sort of 60-minute point of view. The short term, I drew a trend line on it yesterday afternoon, and well, we've broken the early signs of maybe a bit of weakness through there, and a lower high sort of popped in there. It's already hit the daily pivot here, so a bit of weakness, and which could continue through. We're pretty close to the S1. It may push on through. As I said, it's got quite a bit of distance and probably quite a lot of support areas to get through, to push on through to the 50 MA 200 to get towards that weekly pivot, but has reasonable probability in general terms. As I said, it really depends on how strong the momentum is there. It's pretty reasonable at the moment on a bigger time frame, so we'll just see how it fits through as we progress. Yeah, not much else to say there at the moment. It's looking a bit iffy. Now, the pound, I talked about this yesterday. Sentiment from the institutional side of things and hedge funds is pretty bearish, yet for some reason retail sentiment's pretty getting towards the closing in on the extreme side of bullishness. It may increase, but you see the trend is still down. It's not broken on a. It's not unlike the euro, which broke its trend line. This is still in a proper downward trend here, really. Yeah, okay, you could possibly draw it slightly different and catch it a little bit, but certainly looks like it's in a bit of a downward trend anyway to me. So where to? Well, what's the score here? Well, it's already hit the weekly pivot, so target wise that's a sort of a non-event, but if the pound keeps on softening, it really needs to get through the 4-hourly 50. That may just hold it. If it keeps softening, well, oh, sorry, I'll come back to the 4-hourly, see more. It could get down to its weekly S1, that area around 27.40, 41, that sort of area. So it could get down to there. Now, having said that, we likewise yesterday we broke the trend line a second time there. Actually, we broke an earlier trend line on it, a steeper trend line on the hourlies here, broke through the sort of more softer trend line. It's again put lower highs, lower lows in, but it does look like it's almost in that point where it could reverse back towards that daily pivot. So probability is pretty good for those, but so it could do that. Now, if it was to run up there, I would be looking at potentially shorting it. So we'll look potentially on the short side if that was to occur. Okay, there's the pound, dollar yen. Remember, on the pound, it's all risk at the moment in terms. It could be good or bad risk, but it's risk with Brexit being discussed. So there's high impact risk potentially. Okay, dollar yen. Well, daily point of view, just consolidating here. There's this last 3-4 days, on the fourth day, and it's sort of in a range. So it's one of those, really, you're looking for the range and the breakout of the range at some point. Now, of course, you could draw the lines across there and get the wedgie sort of pattern that's sort of sitting there. It could just break out the top there, run into the next high and fail, but it's still Still got potential when you look at this bigger picture for a continuation towards that upside. Now it's broken the trends line that was running down the lows there originally, so maybe it's got further upside potential. Coming down to the hourly, already hit the daily pivot. At the moment it was having a bit of a shove up. It was looking like it was going to run up towards that R1 area at some point, so possibility. Of course this is early, we get a lot of consolidation around this time in the mornings recently, so we could see a similar thing happen there, so maybe worth being a bit patient, but the yen does move quite well intraday for us at times. Aussie dollar, a bit more of a choppy trading pairing, and still got some downside risk in my book. It's pretty much still in the downward trend from these highs. Here it's below those highs there, the trend line, and it does look erring on the weaker side. 4 hourly, proper sell-off yesterday. It eventually went up, called that 200 again, and well, looking weakish at the moment. So you see from the hourlies, it's sort of a proper sell-off there through the session. There was no significant news data due out, so I'm not too sure what caused that at the moment, but no doubt something political. So for now, looking weak. Canadian dollar was probably the one that was a bit more bullish, and yeah, it's still looking like it could continue to strengthen here against the US dollar. Remember, US dollar, Canadian dollar, so it has been the more bullish one. It continues through yesterday, didn't give much back. Oil prices have been pushing up, so it's probably helped the case. And if they start sliding down, well, we could see a bit of a reversal. But for now, it's erring more bullish than bearish. It's I was looking at targets yesterday of that daily 200 possibly this week, so it could yet come back off for that. So that's a possibility with the Canadian dollar. Side of that, looking at the 60 minutes here, well, not really giving too much clues, and it is known to chop around a little bit. Yesterday it did get into trend eventually. Just after 8 o'clock it started moving into a more solid trend there. May do a similar thing this morning, we'll see, but it's already hit the daily pivot. S1 sits below. That could be the next target on this downward trend. That's pretty much it that way. Fundamentally, we've got very little data of sort of semi-significance. We've got a Canadian current account sitting there, but we've got the prelim GDP, which is the second reading of the US GDP numbers. That could create some volatility, expecting slightly down from the original 4.1 down to 4, so bit of a corrective reading expected, so we'll see what happens there. And crude oil inventories are due at 3:30, which again could affect the Canadian dollar more so than the other pair. There we go. Have a great one. Bye for now.